Got the board roughed in over there. We need to do the bottom of the door and then the bottom of the door skin. So right now I got a template cut out here that we have plenty of material here to make the bottom of the door can. So let's knock that out. Cool. Now we need to cut a couple more pieces. One will be the angle inside of here that will go across the bottom all the way to the end over there. And then we'll cut a narrow one to make a little piece of break, probably 5/8 by 5/8, to make the drop that the door skin will go wrap around. Then we'll have little pieces to tie in on the corner down here. Let's try that now. So I got this marked out. My method is straight line cut, and the jagged line is the break, just so I don't cut the long line. Then I'll break that over at 90 degrees, and that'll make the bottom inside edge of the door. Let's cut that now. The blade was shot. This one is nearly shot, but I try to save a few of these that are smaller. Sometimes you use them to get in the corner. Sometimes you just use them up. This one's going to get used up. Got those two pieces just lapped over at the time for the inside bottom edge of that door. There I got to come up some. I just got it clamped in there and kind of hold things together at this time and get a feel for what's going on. Now I got to make a 5/8 by 5/8 break, and that'll go along the front edge here to create our surface that the door skin will lap over, be 90 degrees, and have this arc in it, and then the whole thing will set in here. to make a door bottom. Something like that. There we go. And that follows pretty nicely out here to the contour. We can float that 5/8 by 5/8 piece a little bit in and out, because it's going to lap over the door skin at the bottom, and then we can work that skin and make sure it meets the contour we need there on the outside. So we get this door closed all the way. This is going to be cut off, and we'll use our legend marks here. Got a couple of them just in case we lose anything. And then we'll measure. We want to leave about an 8 to 3/16 for a gap at the bottom. So we have to calculate a little bit longer skin to go down beyond that. Then we can cut it and roll it back around. The piece that will be attached to this, the one I spoke about earlier, that's probably 5/8 by 5/8. So I think what we're going to do next is build this 5/8 by 5/8 angle, and we'll shrink and roll it to this contour of the bottom of the door here. And at that point, then we'll try to discover exactly how high this floor of the door needs to go in. And like I said, we'll put it in there temporarily, just a few tacks, hold everything in place, put the door skin edge on there, again measuring down from our legend marks each end of the door, and make sure that we allow the appropriate amount to lap over and put this skin, and then this will be butt welded through the skin just like the center of the door is here, butt to butt, and make a contour that matches the flow of the car, so all of it flows, sweeps around nicely. Yeah, sounds easy. We'll see what happens. I'm gonna cut a couple of pieces. I usually just use my yardstick to the width of the yardstick here. Put that on there. Give her a mark. Move her up. I need a couple of these. My brake's not long enough to do the full door, so I just use a couple short pieces and weld them together. Let's cut those out, and then we'll break those right down the middle of those. And like I said, my brake's not long enough, so I made this in 2 pieces, and I'll just weld them together. Coating off the inside of there. That's going to go in there like that. I'll start shrinking it along here to match the contour at the bottom of the door. Let's do that. Putting the sweep in there. Needs to be tightened up just a little bit more. Just to match that pretty close. Final design is depending on the door skin flowing correctly, but I know this door bottom is really close, so let's work it a little bit more. Getting there. This end's not too bad. A little more down in here. This piece is long. Need to be trimmed off, but lay it across the bottom of there, and it follows pretty darn close to what I need. And I can tweak that, adjust it a little bit, but that skin needs to follow through. And it's pretty flexible too because of the length, so I think I could make that work. Now I'll probably go ahead and attach that to the bottom of the door. Skin here, roughly, maybe a couple of tacks. Get you guys stop swinging there. Sorry about that. And that'll go in there. And our skin will come down over top of that and roll back under. Roll back under there and hammer that all flat. The trick is you got to get this in the right place, so when the skin goes around it, in between an 1/8 to 3/16 of a door gap. I want that to fit nicely across the top of that running board when the door skin goes in there. Stay tuned. Let's do something else. I've made some legend marks here that are 10 inches up from the running board surface, and this is my door bottom, which till I get the skin tied in is a little bit floaty, a little flexible, and it's only got like 2 tacks on it, as well as this surface piece here, 90-degree flange roll piece. So I like to go ahead and get, I also got to do some pieces over here, but for right now I'd like to get that in there, the skin in there, and roll it over. And I'd like to have a 1/4 inch gap at the bottom. They give me a little room. It's a little more than a regular door gap. Anywhere from an 1/8 inch to 3/16 is good on my edge gap, but I would like this one to be just a little bit more. It's not going to show up so bad down there. They give me a little margin. So from this legend mark, 10 inches to the surface there, I'm going to shoot for like 9 3/4 to the lower edge of the rollover. That will give me a 1/4 inch. So probably pull this door off and mock up a skin and see if we can't get that started on there. Yeah, I wanted to put this door square enough that it would lay in there just right without any binding or anything, and ended up having to take the door top off. Matter of fact, it's binding right now because I first was trying to pull it out, but that didn't work. So it lays right in the jam back there. And I put a half a dozen tacks or so in the bottom of the door just to keep it in place, sort of to keep. I'm going to take the door off, lay it up here, and we're going to skin the bottom of that door. That's the plan. Okay, I cut and broke a couple of pieces here. They will spin you guys around a little bit here. Sorry about the swinging there. So they will put a little curve on those, and those will finish out the clip that I roll my door around. Put a little break on those, or a shrink. Get some curvature in those. So I've welded my little break in there. And it matches my template pretty well for curvature of the door. Got room to flare that in and out, just a fuzz. So what I need to do now is cut a piece of skin, put over it. Got this clamp down to the pinch weld there. I'm going to go underneath and mark the skin down through there where it's, I've left this plenty long, I think, a couple inches. I only need a ½ inch to go down beyond my trim line to roll that over. So cut it long, cut it once, or trim it 15 times under there. Then I want to push up just a scotch on that sheet metal because it's laying relaxed. And that'll change the curvature of the line. I want to mark right out here on the edge. Okay, let's flip that over and see what we got. Missed a little right through there and missed a little through there. Alright, we're going to scribe it, and after we do this, this is a rough cut, so let's trim that out now. Let's kind of fake this in here a little bit, get a little something to go off of. Pretty close. A little trimming, a little diving. I think I can make it work. Then I'll get the contour right. Then I'll scribe a line and do an accurate splut butt joint. I worked it a little over with the English wheel, stretching this a little bit up through here, and we're pretty close. We might tack the ends in there, or do a little more trimming, get it in there, and then scribe us a line and do a nice cut. And I think that we can work with whatever we got there, just manipulate it in there. Clamped her in there, and she's really close. So I'm gonna take some of this galva finish off. You can see that's got I worked it a little bit. It's got a little rigidity to it. This will go up and hold tight to it. But I'm gonna work some of that galva paint finish off of there, and some of this paint off of this panel here, so we can get some good weld on it. Just ever so slightly. Might be able to make it work. I'm going to tack it over here and maybe slice that one loose, take a little out of there. That's definitely higher right there. zero. This is just not working out. Some days are better than others. Damn, snagging, hooking up. Made some progress on that. Took me a little bit. And I need to go back in and tap up some of these welds just to flush everything up. But take the yardstick and lay across it, follow the curve. She looks pretty good. Any which way you go about it. So I think I'm gonna work these just a little bit with a hammer and dolly, make sure they're flush. Probably won't weld it much more than that, in case I gotta cut it loose. And then I'm gonna go ahead and work both of these side edges out, cut them down, fold those around. Same with this one, mark it out, fold those around. Then we'll go for our final dimension from here to our bottom of the door length, which should be 9 3/4 from the top of that tape there. And then we'll trim that off and fold it over. Got a couple of lines marked out here. My blue line is my fold line. The black line is my cut line. Cut line's not the best down here. Kind of got to flow a little bit. But yeah. So I'm going to trim that off and start hammering those over. Let's do that now. I don't like that. I'm gonna remark that black line. Alright, I remarked that cut line on the bottom. Let's see what happens. Don't know. Just started on this end here. It's not working too terribly bad. Got it folded over, just need to pinch it. And that helped a little bit. Yeah, probably should not go in so tight. That kind of sucks, but we'll make it work. But that's why I did this sword edge first, so we know what we got. Yeah. That's not so good. Man, that's not so good. Not so good. Let's try a little different approach on the other end. See if we can save it. Make it happen, Captain. Worst case scenario, I could weld something on there. Weld a bead, done it, bring it out. But I want to save this and this by making those wider before I hammer them over. Only drawback to that is I didn't leave a lot of overlap. I didn't take into account for that much take up for the material going around. There was just a little more take up there than I thought with the thickness of the metal I'm going around, so we'll see if we can make it work. Roll this one over, a little better than that side. Got to start way out. Hope I got enough material there. This one did fine. I'll make the bottom one work. It's gonna have to. Now I'm not so. If this one was an 1/8 inch short, that's fine, but these along the side, they got to be right, because that's going to be noticeable down the side of the door. But we'll make it work. You got that skin on there. It's not bad. It's a little wide down here. I might have to fix that. We talked about that earlier. This door gap here I'm good with, and she's swinging. Swings good. I got to put the top frame back on there. It was binding up, but this is where the door has to be. So I'm pretty happy with that. There's a lot of welding, a lot of finishing up to do, but I'm real happy at this point. Thanks, like and subscribe.